Hi, welcome to this video of challenges for the managers. This video will help you to understand the various security levels required within an organization and the importance of creating a technology blueprint. In this video, you would be able to understand and explain centralized and decentralized systems. So, you start with centralized vis-a-vis decentralized computing, and we'll find out that in centralized systems, it serves the needs of an organization and has skilled employees to run a large facility. So therefore, there is one central server, and connected to the central server, there are multiple workstations and other computing devices like printers and output devices that are connected to it. In case of decentralized systems, these are maintained and run by functional departments, so which do not have a direct communication among themselves. So in terms of scalability and flexibility, centralized systems can be easily deployed to various divisions and departments, and individual departments are flexible to configure the system according to their needs. That is happening in case of decentralized systems. Now we talk about the kind of threats that a manager has to deal with during his work sphere. So threats can be categorized primarily into internal and external threats. So if we talk about the internal threats, there are stealing of data, misuse of systems, and fudging of accounts are some of the elements which comprise of your internal threat perception. So if we talk about external threats, which primarily we can expect outside the organization, which could be a virus could be planted into your system, this could be function disruption, or it could be a malicious damage, or emails could be sent to you in order to hack your information outside the organization. So therefore, what kind of security levels an organization would require, a manager has to decide all the time. So either I go for extensive security, which talks about having a very high investment proposition, and is very creating an difficulty for the users to access, because if you have too much of barriers, if you could create before the users, so they might not like to use the system, that might not feel that comfortable to use it, or it is actually because of its high expensive nature, its entire proposition becomes impractical. But on the contrary, if you are having a very low level security, so that would actually may result in theft of your data and the inflow of your viruses to your system. So therefore, it is very important you to balance between these two approaches and find out a technology roadmap which can facilitate the business processes to go further. So therefore, the managers actually face a constant challenge of ensuring that the system is current, relevant, useful, and it has to find out a roadmap for a longer duration which can have a sustainable model. So therefore, the roadmap shows how the technology is expected to evolve and change in future using the organization's goals and technology plans. So therefore, the technology roadmap is actually giving the horizon and replacement of desktop computers, proprietary software replacement by free or open source, or upgrading and expanding of current enterprise applications, and phasing out the current networking components. So these all movements essentially identify with one important factor, that you need to have an information system which has a longer stay and is sustainable in the longer run. And finally, the future requirements for the networking and telecommunication has to be mapped into the existing device. In this video, you learned that a centralized system is easier as it deploys many divisions and departments, whereas in decentralized system, individual departments have flexibility to configure the system to suit their needs. Modern information systems infrastructures are constantly under threat from internal as well as from external sources. The roadmap considers the current infrastructure as the starting point and shows how the technology is expected to evolve and change in the future. And the roadmap includes the organization's strategic goals and plans and creates a technology plan that would support the former. In this video, you understood the importance of security issues and requirements of a technology blueprint in an organization. you.